Hey everyone, John McCara here. Sick as a dog. Um, Gonna talk to you about some fucking Sixers. Um, I'm gonna talk a little bit about Game Two real fast. I didn't get to see most of it because I was in band practice, but I seen the last 10 minutes of the fourth quarter. I knew that they were down, and then the defense completely um, shored up that win, locked down all of the Pistons besides a little bit of Derrick Rose, but he's been playing really good. Um, But yeah, Matisse looked good. No Embiid, and they still won, and that's all you can ask for from. Oh, and shout out to Tobias, who put the team on his back at 29 points, and Ben Simmons had 7 steals, which was fucking rad. Um, but now we're on to Game 3. I watched the full game, so we're going to talk about that real fast. I'm John McCarr. We're sponsored by the 1940s. It's a rock band from South Philly. Go check them out. They're really great. All right, let's get on to this game. Game 3. I had this marked on the calendar as a loss. As soon as the schedule came out, I knew we'd play Boston hard and win that game. I knew we beat the Pistons. I figured Embiid would play and dominate Drummond like he always does. He didn't play, but we still won, so I was right there. I thought this was going to be a loss. Sixers somehow pulled it out because it didn't look good. We'll go to the first quarter. Ben looked pretty aggressive in the first couple minutes, but there was no. It didn't look like there was any plays being called, and it was pretty bad shots being taken from from pretty much all the guys. I think Embiid took like a unnecessary three. I got a dream catcher. See that guy right there. In my notes, Toby needs to step up, and he didn't for a long time. And Embiid, I thought Embiid needed to relax. He looked like he was coming out a little bit too. He needed to score too bad, and he was putting up some bad shots. But that was only the first couple minutes. And the defense looked like they were contesting everything, but the Hawks just were making everything in that first quarter. It was a 40-31 first quarter by the Hawks. They were unreal. I wrote in my notes. This looks like one of those games where Trae Young will never miss, and bums like Bembry and Bruno Fernando will score 18 apiece or something stupid. And that's almost what happened. But yeah, that was a rough. That was a rough first quarter, for sure. And for the Sixers' credit, they stayed in it. Um, I thought their defense. I thought their defense was okay, and their defense steps got better. It looked like every quarter. Matisse had 3 steals in that first quarter. He's so fucking good. I love him to death. He is a fucking. He's a dog, in the best kind of way. I love him. I hope you guys like my. I don't think it's a Snuggie, but my grandmother didn't want it, and now I'm in it, and I'm comfortable as fuck. All right, so that was the first quarter. 40-31 Hawks. Second quarter, we made some smart plays in the beginning of that quarter. Trae Young and John Collins are going to be a really scary 1-2 punch, especially if John Collins can start shooting the three regularly. Trae Young's ridiculous. If the Hawks can keep playing consistently, I could see them pushing for a playoff spot or at least coming close. I think I had them 10th in the East. They could maybe be 9th or 8th. I don't know. I might be jumping the gun, but I think they're pretty good. I thought they were going to beat us tonight. Hold on. All right, so back to second quarter basketball. Embiid was playing pretty smart, but Trae Young threw like a full court fucking pass, and Embiid wasn't back for it, and that drove me absolutely insane. I think that they almost trapped him and almost got him to a 7-second violation. But you had to be prepared for anything, and Embiid just stopped guarding his man, he probably didn't like that either. But what are you gonna do? Where we at? Oh, I almost passed out when Embiid and Trae Young collided ankles. I would have flew to Atlanta and killed Trae Young. Embiid got hurt because of his stupid ankles. It scares the fucking shit out of me. Harris missed a bunch of open threes again. I felt like he couldn't hit anything for the longest time. But the D tightened up. And then let's talk about this Mike Scott ejection. What a pussy fucking call. That was unreal. I've done worse in pickup games and no one was upset. Where there's no refs and I could get punched right in the face. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? The fucking kid wasn't upset. He wasn't hurt. He didn't even fall. And you're going to give him a flagrant 2 ejection? Are you high? It was terrible. Absolutely terrible. I think it was more because Mike Scott looked like he was mean mugging him after too. I think that's what really did him in, which is bullshit because it did. I can't even think of how it could have been a flagrant 2 ejection. It's ridiculous, but whatever. Like I said, that's one of the worst calls I've ever seen. Embiid had 19 points in the first half. 6 for 7 shooting. He was on fire. And then last but not least, before we get into the third and fourth quarter, DeAndre Hunter, who I think they said was from Philly, but I'm not sure, hit a Kawhi Leonard shot, kind of, like it bounced off the rim 11 times and went in. And it really broke my heart. Sixers played better, held the Hawks to only 25 points instead of 40, but we're still losing 65-63 at halftime. Third quarter started so bad. Bad pick and roll defense all around. And then it was a terrible shot for, I don't know who drew it up for Embiid to shoot a corner 3 right away. That's your first set play. I don't know what offense they run. I really don't. Sometimes I think Ben just passes it, and it's like the guys feel obligated to shoot it, trying to get him assists, which I don't think that's actually what's happened. I think sometimes they're open and they miss. Like Harris missed a lot of open guys, but yeah. And then they didn't go back for fucking alley-oop, another one. I don't know. John Collins had like 5 alley-oops. It felt like that's all his points were alley-oops. It was messy. And then that Embiid poster. This is where their ship started just to turn for the Sixers. Embiid did what Embiid does. He dunked on John Collins, absolutely destroyed him, shimmying his face, and then he got a technical. But so did, I think, Trae Young or Lloyd Pierce, one of them. So I think it was a double tech, and I don't know what it went to commercial, so I'm not 100% sure what happened from that. Felt like Tobias disappeared for about 25 minutes, 30 minutes, the whole game until I realized, oh shit, he's on the court still. It was so ridiculous. Shake was hitting some threes. Let's talk about Shake. I think Shake's going to be a decent player. I didn't think he was going to be a decent player. He looked terrible in Summer League, but he's hitting some clutch threes. Besides that one terrible, he didn't realize he was open, and then didn't even realize that. It looked like he was like, oh, like he didn't know what to do. He stepped into a terrible shot. I think he had a foot on the line anyway because it was just the worst shot I've ever seen. One of the worst shots I've ever seen. And it fucking missed badly. But he played great. And at the end of the quarter, I think he got hurt, which really sucks because he got hurt. Mike Scott got fouled out, or flagrant. He got ejected. And it's like, it looked bad. I thought that's where it was going to go. Even though, Mike Scott and Shake Milton don't really fucking push the boundaries of, if a team's good or great. But when Embiid's the only guy that's really playing, and it's the third quarter, and you're playing a team that looks like they're just hitting shots, even though the defense was so solid. Matisse was all over. Ben played great defense. Embiid always plays great defense. I think he had like 3 blocks. I'm looking at the stats at the end of this. But, yeah, 83-82 Hawks. End of the third. Fourth quarter, on my notes, Matisse is just unreal. He is beautiful. And he is. I think he chased down, I think, Trey or one of the other Hawklings, and ripped the ball right out of his hands. And then I think Ben got pushed out or something like that. But a lot of terrible fouling. It was just sloppy. Both teams were running around. They didn't look like either of them knew what to do, and I think it's because Lloyd Pierce is from Brett Brown's coaching chain, and sometimes Brett's teams just run around like chickens with their heads cut off. And that's what it looked like the first couple of minutes of this fourth. Horford and Harris needed to really start playing better, and at least at this point in the fourth, they didn't. Simmons, by the way, he didn't really do much either, but I really feel like he's the fastest player in the league. And if it's not him, it's probably De'Aaron Fox. John Wall's not playing. I think he's the fastest guy in the league. I don't know who's faster. I don't watch, every team as much as I want to or as much as I can't. Like, it's impossible. So, but, and I don't know if I'm being biased or not, but I think he's the fastest player in the league. Top 4, definitely. But he also disappeared offensively for a little bit. I don't even know who was scoring. I don't even remember who was scoring the points in the fourth. I don't know how we stayed in it. Hunter hit a 3 from a really smart Vince Carter play, and it put them up by 8 with like 6 minutes left or something like that. And I thought that was it. I thought they were just going to keep going. I knew this would be a tough matchup. I don't know if I said it on this channel or if I said it on fucking Facebook or whatever, but I really thought we were going to lose this game. And they looked like dog shit when Embiid left the court. Nobody was playing well. Matisse was playing great. They were playing good defense, but no one was making anything on offense happen. As soon as he comes back in, Embiid, he drew 2 fouls, scored 4 points, and had an assist. And then I think they were only down by 2 at that point. It was like 98-96, and it forced the Hawks to call a timeout. Embiid's dominance is what kept them in this game and helped them win, obviously, hit them free throws at the end. Harris missed a big-time free throw, and then I think the next possession he made right back up for it and hit a huge shot with 42 seconds left. Josh Richardson had a huge block, and then fucking I thought it'd be another ridiculous, like last year, Trae Young hit the floater to win the game. Bullshit, Atlanta Hawks win. I was expecting it to go into overtime and the fucking Hawks pull out some bullshit win, even though they were winning the whole game pretty much. John Collins tipped in a missed free throw. There's no way that Trae Young tried to do it on purpose. He acted like he did, but he's full of shit. That looked like it was going to go in. You know what I mean? There's no way that was fake. But John Collins tipped it in, 103-103, and then the beauty of Embiid is you got to feed him in the paint. He's unstoppable in the paint. The only way you can stop him is literally to grip him up and foul him. And he's a great free throw shooter, so even when you foul him, it don't matter. He hit both free throws, and that's pretty much the end of the game. 105-103 Sixers win. Can't believe they won. Shocked they won. Yeah. This is the sign of a great team, is when everyone plays mediocre besides Embiid. And you pull out a win on defense and grit. And the Sixers didn't have that the last 2 years that they were a playoff team. They were winning off of. They were winning last year. They would win off of some shots from Butler, but it wasn't because they were playing extremely smart or great defense. Because Butler was, I thought Butler was real overrated on defense. I thought he was a lot better than he was. But this year is different. This year it's all about defense. They're making smarter plays, even though they're still sometimes boneheaded. But it's only 3 games in. I think they're going to gel better. Yeah, they pulled out a tough win against the young, fast, really good shooting Hawks team, and it was beautiful. Embiid, player of the game, without a doubt. He had 36, 13, 5, and 3 blocks, and he's just beautiful. Ben had a good defensive game. Didn't play great on offense, but he put up a normal Ben Simmons 13, 6, and 6, even though he averages more than that. But Horford, let's talk about Horford for a minute. I thought he could have done more. He really didn't do. He had 5, 9, and 2. He made some smart. No, he didn't even make great passes. Like the one pass, he passed up a wide open 2. If he would have just turned around, it would have been a dunk. He passed it to J. Rich, who missed the 3. So, but I'm not nitpicking Al Horford because usually he's great. Thibault, only 8 points, but he was all over the fucking court. I love him. Great 20 minutes from him. Korkmaz played. I didn't really notice him do anything though. And that's pretty much it. Kyle O'Quinn played pretty well. I don't know. I want to see in games like this, especially when Mike Scott and Shake Milton both get hurt. I know it was late in the third when Shake left, but beginning of that fourth quarter, why don't you try putting in Neto or Burke? Give them some time. See if they can be a backup point. Instead of having Jay Rich running back up, and he tonight he wasn't terrible. I think he actually played he played great defense, and he had some good. He made some good cuts. I think he hit a 3 or he hit his first 3 tonight. He might have had 2 threes, but his defense was what was really important. But he's not a backup point guard. He's a two guard that can kind of create his own shot, and can. He can pass and dribble when you need him to, but why do you have him running the second unit when you got 2 point guards that it's the beginning of the season, try them out. But I rest my case. Sixers win. Can't wait for the next game, which is Sixers Timberwolves, the return of Covington. I'm working that game. Fuck me. I don't like working Sixers games because I don't get to watch it as much, and then I don't get to really do these videos too often. But beautiful win. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Love and hip hop.